First contact. The sleek, silver spacecraft hovered silently above the outskirts of New York City, its cloaking technology rendering it invisible to Earth's primitive detection systems. Inside, Commander Zara of the Galactic Research Institute stood before her team, her iridescent skin shimmering under the ship's soft blue lights. "Fellow researchers," Zara began, her voice a melodic hum, "we have arrived at our destination, Earth. This planet, teeming with a species known as humans, presents us with a unique opportunity to study a civilization on the brink of interstellar capability." The team of alien scientists, each specialized in different aspects of xenobiology and anthropology, listened intently. Their large, almond-shaped eyes blinked in unison, a sign of collective attention in their species. "Our mission," Zara continued, "is to observe and understand human culture, with a particular focus on their social structures, relationships, and reproductive practices. The Galactic Council believes that comprehending these aspects is crucial before initiating any official contact." Dr. Lix, the team's expert in alien physiology, raised a slender six-fingered hand. "Commander, our preliminary data suggests that humans engage in physical contact for reproduction. Is this accurate?" Zara nodded, her antenna twitching slightly. "Indeed, Dr. Lix. Unlike our species, which reproduces through energy transference, humans require direct physical interaction. This process, which they call sex, seems to hold great significance in their culture." A murmur of fascination rippled through the team. Their own species, the Zinthari, had evolved beyond the need for physical reproduction millennia ago. The concept of intertwining bodies for procreation seemed almost primitive to them. "Remember," Zara cautioned, "we must approach this study with open minds. Our advanced technology and evolved physiology do not make us superior. The Galactic Council chose Earth for a reason. There is something unique about humans that we must understand." With a wave of her hand, Zara activated a holographic display of Earth. "We will divide into teams, each focusing on a different aspect of human culture. Dr. Lix, you will lead the team studying human physiology and reproductive practices." Dr. Lix bowed slightly, accepting the assignment with a mix of excitement and apprehension. "Professor Vex," Zara continued, turning to a Zinthari with intricate patterns swirling across his skin, "your team will focus on human emotions and relationships. Our preliminary data suggests that humans form strong pair bonds, often unrelated to reproduction. We need to understand why." Professor Vex nodded, his skin patterns shifting to display his eagerness for the task. "As for me," Zara said, her voice taking on a note of determination, "I will be overseeing all operations and attempting to integrate myself into human society for closer observation." The team looked at their commander with a mixture of awe and concern. Direct interaction with the subject species was rarely attempted due to the risks involved. "Commander," Professor Vex spoke up, his voice carrying a hint of worry, "are you certain about this? The human emotional spectrum is said to be volatile. It could be dangerous." Zara's antennae straightened, a sign of her resolve. "I appreciate your concern, Professor, but this mission is too important for half measures. We need to understand humans not just from afar, but up close. Their potential as allies or threats to the galactic community hinges on our findings." With that, Zara dismissed her team to prepare for their mission. As the others filed out, Dr. Lix lingered behind. "Commander," he said, his voice low, "there's something else you should know about human reproduction. It seems they also engage in the process for pleasure." Zara's large eyes widened slightly, her antennae curling in surprise. "Pleasure? You mean they perform this act even when not intending to procreate?" Dr. Lix nodded, his own antennae twitching in a mix of fascination and confusion. "Indeed, our data suggest it plays a significant role in their pair bonding and social interactions." Zara absorbed this information, her mind racing with the implications. "Fascinating. This could be key to understanding their complex social structures. Thank you, Dr. Lix. Please ensure your team investigates this aspect thoroughly. As Dr. Lix left, Zara turned back to the holographic display of Earth, her gaze lingering on the sprawling city below. Humans were proving to be more intriguing than she had anticipated. Their seeming irrationality, engaging in reproductive acts for non-reproductive purposes, hinted at a complexity that both excited and unnerved her. The next day, as the sun rose over New York City, Zara stepped out of the ship, her body shimmering briefly as the biodesties activated, giving her the appearance of a human woman. She had chosen the identity of Sarah Zane, a new professor at a local university. As she made her way through the bustling streets, Zara was overwhelmed by the sensory input. The cacophony of sounds, the myriad of smells, and the constant brush of bodies against one another were unlike anything she had experienced before. Zindari society valued order and personal space. This chaotic dance of humanity was both terrifying and exhilarating. She observed as humans greeted each other, some with formal handshakes, others with warm embraces. A couple walked past her, their hands intertwined, faces close as they spoke in hushed tones. Zara watched, fascinated by the casual intimacy. As she neared the university campus, Zara spotted a young couple engaged in what humans called kissing. The sight made her antennae twitch beneath her biodisguise. The act seemed so unsanitary, yet the participants appeared to be enjoying it immensely. First day. Zara turned to find a smiling human male standing beside her. For a moment, she panicked, worried her disguise had failed. "I'm sorry," she managed to say, remembering her training in human speech patterns. At the university, the man clarified, gesturing to the campus. "You looked a bit lost. I'm David, by the way, professor of anthropology." Zara relaxed slightly. "Yes, it's my first day. I'm Sarah Zane, new professor in sociology." David's smile widened. "Well, welcome aboard, Sarah. If you need any help finding your way around, just let me know." As David walked away, Zara felt a strange flutter in her midsection. She made a mental note to have Dr. Lix check her biodisguise for malfunctions. Little did Zara know, this encounter was just the beginning of a journey that would challenge everything she thought she knew about humans, about her own species, and about the nature of life and love in the universe. As she stepped onto the campus grounds, ready to begin her undercover mission, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that she was standing on the precipice of a discovery that would change not just her life, but the future of human-alien relations forever. The first day at the university was a whirlwind of new experiences for Zara. She navigated the crowded hallways, her senses overwhelmed by the chatter of students, the rustle of papers, and the occasional burst of laughter. Every interaction, every observation, was meticulously recorded by the advanced neural interface hidden beneath her biodisguise. In her first lecture, Zara found herself standing before a room full of eager young humans, their eyes fixed upon her with a mix of curiosity and anticipation. She had prepared extensively for this moment, studying human educational techniques and social norms. Yet, as she began to speak about social structures and relationship dynamics, she found herself fascinated by the students' reactions. They asked questions, probing, challenging questions that sometimes caught her off guard. The Zindari educational system was based on rote learning and acceptance of established facts. This human tendency to question, to seek deeper understanding, was both refreshing and slightly unsettling. As the day progressed, Zara found herself drawn into conversations with her fellow professors. During a break in the faculty lounge, she overheard a heated discussion about human mating rituals, or as the humans called it, dating. "I'm telling you, online dating is killing romance," one professor argued passionately. "Back in my day, you had to work up the courage to ask someone out face to face." "Oh, please," another retorted, rolling her eyes. "Online dating has opened up so many possibilities. It's efficient, it's practical." Zara listened intently, her mind whirring with new information. The concept of dating, a ritualized form of mate selection, was foreign to her. Among the Xinthari, partnerships were formed based on logical compatibility and genetic optimization. This human approach, fraught with emotion and uncertainty, seemed hopelessly inefficient, and yet she couldn't deny the energy and passion in their debate. As the day drew to a close, Zara found herself walking across the campus quad, lost in thought. She was so preoccupied with processing the day's observations that she didn't notice the frisbee hurtling towards her until it was too late. The disc struck her squarely in the forehead, causing her to stumble backward. For a terrifying moment, she feared her biodisguise would malfunction, revealing her true form to everyone around her. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," a voice called out. Zara looked up to see a young man jogging towards her, his face a mask of concern. "Are you okay?" Zara blinked, running a quick mental diagnostic of her systems. Everything seemed to be functioning normally. I'm fine," she managed to say. The young man reached her, slightly out of breath. "I'm really sorry about that. I'm usually a better shot." He extended his hand. "I'm Mike, by the way." Zara stared at his outstretched hand for a moment before remembering the human custom of handshaking. She took his hand, marveling at the warmth of his skin against hers. "I'm Sarah," she said, using her human name. "It's nice to meet you, Mike." Mike's concerned expression melted into a warm smile. "Nice to meet you too, Sarah. Can I maybe buy you a coffee to make up for almost decapitating you with a frisbee?" Zara tilted her head, confused. "But you didn't decapitate me. My head is still firmly attached." Mike laughed, a sound that sent an unexpected shiver through Zara's body. "It's just an expression. I just meant, well, would you like to get a coffee with me?" Zara hesitated. Her mission parameters didn't explicitly forbid social interactions with humans, and this could be an excellent opportunity for closer observation. "Yes," she found herself saying, "I would like that." As they walked towards the campus coffee shop, Zara couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. She was about to engage in a human social ritual, a date, perhaps, and she had no idea what to expect. Little did she know, this chance encounter would be the catalyst for a series of events that would challenge everything she thought she knew about humans, about love, and about herself. As they stepped into the warm, aromatic interior of the coffee shop, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that she was stepping into something much bigger than a simple social interaction. The first contact had been made, and the real exploration was just beginning. Cosmic confusion, when alien logic meets human emotion. Zara sat across from Mike in the bustling coffee shop, her large eyes taking in every detail of the strange ritual humans called coffee dating. The warm, bitter aroma of the dark liquid in front of her tickled her olfactory sensors, causing her antennae to twitch beneath her biodisguise. "So, Sarah," Mike began, his easy smile sending an unexpected flutter through Zara's midsection, "what brought you to a humble university?" Zara took a moment to formulate her response, careful not to reveal her true purpose. "I'm researching human behavior," she said, which wasn't entirely untrue. "Specifically, I'm interested in your mating rituals and reproductive practices." Mike's eyebrows shot up, and he nearly choked on his coffee. "Wow, that's direct," he laughed nervously. "Usually, people start with small talk about the weather or their favorite movies." Zara tilted her head, confused. "But why waste time on irrelevant information? Isn't the purpose of this date to determine compatibility for potential mating?" Mike's face turned a fascinating shade of red. "Whoa, slow down there. We just met. This is just a friendly coffee to apologize for the frisbee incident." Zara made a mental note. Humans approach mating with far more caution and roundabout methods than expected. Fascinating. As their conversation continued, Zara found herself increasingly perplexed by human behavior. Mike spoke of his dreams, his fears, his favorite foods, all information that seemed irrelevant to determining genetic compatibility. And yet, she couldn't deny the strange warmth that spread through her chest as he laughed at her literal interpretations of his idioms. Meanwhile, back on the cloaked spacecraft, Dr. Lix and Professor Vex were reviewing the data streaming in from Zara's neural interface. "Remarkable," Dr. Lix murmured, his six-fingered hands dancing over the holographic displays. "The human body produces a cocktail of chemicals during these social interactions. Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. It's like their bodies are drugging themselves." Professor Vex nodded, his skin patterns swirling with excitement. "And look at the brain activity. The regions associated with pair bonding are lighting up like a supernova. All this from a simple conversation over a caffeinated beverage." As they marveled at the complexity of human social interactions, an alert flashed on their screens. Zara's biosigns were fluctuating in unusual ways. Back at the coffee shop, Zara was experiencing something entirely new. As Mike regaled her with a humorous story about his childhood pet, a strange sound bubbled up from her throat. It took her a moment to realize she was laughing, genuinely laughing, not just mimicking the behavior as she had been trained. The realization startled her so much that she accidentally knocked over her coffee cup. The hot liquid spilled across the table, and without thinking, Mike reached out to help her clean it up. Their hands touched, and Zara felt an electric jolt race through her body. I need to use the waste elimination facility," Zara stammered, jumping to her feet. Mike blinked, confused. The restroom? It's just around the corner." Zara practically ran to the restroom, locking herself in a stall. Her heart, or the organ that passed for a heart in her biodisguise, was racing. What was happening to her? These reactions, these feelings, they weren't part of the mission parameters. As she tried to regain her composure, she overheard two human females entering the restroom, engaged in animated conversation. "I'm telling you, Jess, he's the one," one of them gushed. "When he looks at me, it's like the whole world disappears. My heart races, my palms get sweaty. Is this what love feels like?" Zora's antennae perked up beneath her disguise. Love. That enigmatic human emotion that had puzzled Zin theory scientists for centuries. Could it be that she was experiencing something similar? No, impossible. She was a highly trained Zin theory scientist. She didn't have these primitive human emotions. And yet, when she returned to the table, Mike looked up at her with concern. "Hey, are you okay? You looked a little flustered earlier." Zara opened her mouth to assure him she was fine, but what came out instead shocked them both. "I think I might be experiencing symptoms of human love sickness. Is there a cure?" Mike's jaw dropped, and for a moment, he just stared at her. Then, to Zara's surprise, he burst out laughing. "Wow, Zara, you really commit to your research, don't you?" That's got to be the most unique pickup line I've ever heard. As Mike continued to chuckle, clearly thinking she was joking, Zara felt a strange mix of relief and disappointment. This mission was becoming far more complicated than she had anticipated. Little did she know, her experiences were about to spark a debate among her fellow researchers that would challenge the very foundations of Zin theory society. Back on the ship, Dr. Lix and Professor Vex watched the events unfold with growing concern and fascination. "This is unprecedented," Professor Vex muttered, his skin patterns shifting rapidly in agitation. "Commander Zara appears to be emotionally compromised." Dr. Lix nodded sullenly. "Indeed. The question is, do we abort the mission, or do we allow this to continue in the name of science?" As they debated, a notification popped up on their screens. The Galactic Council was requesting an update on their mission. The two scientists exchanged worried glances. How could they explain that their commander might be falling in love with a human? Meanwhile, in a dark corner of the coffee shop, a figure watched Zara and Mike with keen interest. This observer was neither human nor Zinthari, but something else entirely. As Zara stumbled through her first experience with human emotions, this mysterious entity smiled to itself. The game, it seemed, was about to get a lot more interesting. As the coffee date came to an end, Zara found herself reluctant to leave Mike's company. This, too, was a new and unsettling feeling. She had a mission to complete, data to analyze, She shouldn't be wanting to prolong this interaction. "This has been enlightening," Zara said as they stood outside the coffee shop. "Thank you for the cultural exchange." Mike grinned, shaking his head in amusement. "You're really something else, Zara. Listen, would you like to maybe do this again sometime? Maybe dinner?" Zara's mind raced. Dinner? Another opportunity for close observation of human behavior? Or was it something more? "Yes," she heard herself say before she could fully process the implications. "I would like that very much." As Mike walked away, promising to text her later, a concept Zara made a mental note to research, she felt a strange lightness in her chest. It was almost as if... No, she shook her head, trying to clear it of these illogical thoughts. She was a scientist, here to study humans, not to, what? Fall in love with one. The very idea was preposterous. And yet, as she made her way back to the hidden ship, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that something fundamental had shifted within her. The universe, it seemed, had many more surprises in store. Little did she know, her small step into the world of human emotions was about to become a giant leap for intergalactic understanding, and a potential threat to the very fabric of Xinthari society. As the sun set over New York City, casting a golden glow over the bustling streets, three very different beings contemplated the events of the day. Zara, grappling with newfound emotions. Mike, intrigued by the enigmatic woman he'd met, and the mysterious observer, watching from the shadows, its own inscrutable plans set in motion. The stage was set for a cosmic collision of cultures, emotions, and destinies that would reshape the future of both humanity and the Xinthari. And it all began with a simple cup of coffee and a wayward frisbee. Quantum entanglement of hearts. The New York skyline glittered like a constellation of earthbound stars as Zara stood atop the hidden Xinthari spacecraft, her biodisguise flickering momentarily in the cool night breeze. Her mind, usually a bastion of logical processes and scientific inquiry, was in turmoil. "Commander Zara," Dr. Lix's voice crackled through her neural interface. "Your biometrics are concerning. Perhaps we should reconsider your direct involvement in the mission." Zara's antennae twitched beneath her holographic human exterior. "Negative, Dr. Lix. The data we're collecting is too valuable. I must continue." But even as she said the words, Zara knew she was no longer motivated solely by scientific curiosity. The memory of Mike's laugh, the warmth of his hand against hers, these sensations haunted her in a way that defied Xinthari logic. Meanwhile, in a dimly lit laboratory across the city, Mike hunched over a microscope, his brow furrowed in concentration. As a promising young biologist, he'd been tasked with analyzing some unusual cellular samples, but his mind kept wandering to the enigmatic Sarazane. Earth to Mike, his colleague, Dr. Emily Chen, called out, waving a hand in front of his face. "You've been staring at that same slide for 20 minutes. What's got you so distracted?" Mike sighed, leaning back in his chair. "Sorry, Em. I met someone today. She's different. In a good way, I think. But there's something about her I can't quite put my finger on." Emily raised an eyebrow, a mischievous glint in her eye. "Ooh, do tell. Is she an international spy? A secret superhero?" "Very funny," Mike chuckled. "She's a new sociology professor. But the way she talks about human behavior, it's like she's observing us from the outside. It's fascinating." As Mike spoke, the cellular sample beneath his microscope began to shift and change, its structure morphing in ways that defied known biological processes. But in his distraction, he failed to notice. Across the city, in a sleek penthouse office, the mysterious observer from the coffee shop sat before a wall of holographic screens. Each display showed a different aspect of Zara's mission, her vital signs, brain activity, and live feed from her optical sensors. "Fascinating," the being murmured, its form shifting and shimmering like liquid mercury. "The Xinthari are finally learning. But will they understand in time?" The observer's fingers danced across an ethereal keyboard, sending encoded messages to various points across the galaxy. The game was becoming more complex, and the stakes were rising. Back on the Zinthari ship, Professor Vex paced nervously, his skin patterns pulsing with anxiety. "This is unprecedented," he muttered. "A Zinthari experiencing emotions. It goes against everything we know about our species." Dr. Lix nodded solemnly. "Indeed. But consider the implications, Vex. If Commander Zara can experience these feelings, could it mean our entire understanding of our own evolution is flawed?" Before Vex could respond, an alert blared through the ship. A transmission from the Galactic Council was incoming. With a shared look of apprehension, they accepted the call. The holographic form of High Counselor Zorn materialized before them, his expression stern. "Report, scientists. Your latest data transmissions are troubling." As Vex stammered out an explanation, Zora was making her way through the neon-lit streets of New York, her senses overwhelmed by the cacophony of human life. She had agreed to meet Mike for dinner, a decision that both thrilled and terrified her. She arrived at the restaurant, a cozy Italian place tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. Mike was already there, his face lighting up as he saw her approach. "Sarah, I'm glad you could make it," he said, standing to greet her. As they sat down, Zara felt that now familiar flutter in her midsection. She watched, fascinated, as Mike perused the menu, his eyes crinkling at the corners as he smiled. "So," Mike said, looking up at her, "tell me more about your research. What made you interested in human behavior?" Zara paused, choosing her words carefully. "I find humans unpredictable. Your species operates on a complex interplay of logic and emotion that is unique in the universe. In my experience." Mike laughed, a sound that sent shivers down Zora's spine. "Well, when you put it like that, we do sound like a pretty weird bunch." As they talked, Zara found herself relaxing, drawn into the warmth of Mike's presence. She even managed to navigate the complexities of eating spaghetti without arousing suspicion, though the sensation of the pasta sliding down her throat was a novel and somewhat alarming experience. But as the evening wore on, Zara became aware of a growing discomfort. Her biodisguise, designed for short-term use, was beginning to strain under the prolonged activation. She needed to return to the ship soon, or risk a catastrophic failure. Just as she was about to make her excuses, Mike reached across the table, his hand gently covering hers. The touch sent a jolt of electricity through her body, and for a moment, Zara forgot how to breathe. "Sarah," Mike said, his voice soft, "I know we just met, but I feel like there's something special between us. Would you like to go for a walk after dinner? There's a beautiful park nearby." Zara knew she should refuse. Her biodisguise was already at its limits. The logical choice was clear, but as she looked into Mike's eyes, logic seemed to fade away. "Yes," she heard herself say, "I'd like that very much." As they left the restaurant hand in hand, neither of them noticed the shimmer of a cloaking device deactivating momentarily on a nearby rooftop. The mysterious observer watched them go, its mercurial form rippling with something akin to satisfaction. "And so it begins," the being murmured. "The convergence is at hand." In that moment, as Zara walked beside Mike under the starlit sky, 3 threads of destiny became inexorably intertwined. A Zinthari scientist grappling with newfound emotions, a human biologist on the verge of a world-changing discovery, and a cosmic entity orchestrating events beyond their comprehension. The fate of 2 species, and perhaps the entire galaxy, now hung in the balance, all because of one unlikely connection sparked by a wayward frisbee and a cup of coffee. As Zora and Mike disappeared into the night, the city pulsed around them, oblivious to the cosmic drama unfolding in its midst. The stage was set for a revelation that would shake the foundations of both human and Zinthari society, and it all hinged on the quantum entanglement of 2 hearts from different worlds. Galactic heartstrings and quantum quandaries. The moon hung low over Central Park, casting an ethereal glow on the meandering paths where Zara and Mike strolled hand in hand. For Zara, Each step was a battle between the growing warmth in her chest and the alarming warnings flashing across her neural interface. "You know, Sarah," Mike said, his voice soft in the night air, "I've never met anyone quite like you. It's like you see the world in a completely different way." "If only you knew," Zara thought, her antennae twitching nervously beneath her biodisguise. Aloud, she said, "I find your perspective equally fascinating, Mike. Humans are so vibrant." As they walked, Zara's internal systems blared urgent warnings. Her biodisguise was reaching critical levels of instability. She needed to return to the ship immediately, but the thought of leaving Mike filled her with an unfamiliar ache. Suddenly, a shooting star blazed across the sky, leaving a trail of golden light in its wake. Mike's face lit up with childlike wonder. "Quick, make a wish," he exclaimed. Zara tilted her head in confusion. "Make a wish? On a piece of space debris entering the atmosphere?" Mike laughed, the sound sending ripples of warmth through Zara's being. "It's just a human tradition. We like to believe that wishing on a shooting star makes our dreams come true." As Zara pondered this curious human custom, she failed to notice the slight shimmer in her biodisguise, a momentary flicker that revealed a glimpse of her true iridescent skin. Mike blinked, rubbing his eyes. "Whoa, did you see that? For a second, it looked like you were glowing." Before Zara could respond, a searing pain shot through her body. Her biodisguise was failing. In a panic, she pulled away from Mike. I have to go," she gasped, turning to flee. "Sarah, wait." Mike called after her, confusion and concern etched on his face. But Zara was already running, her form flickering between human and Zinthari as she desperately sought cover. Meanwhile, in his high-tech laboratory, Mike's colleague Dr. Emily Chen was making a startling discovery. The cellular samples Mike had been examining earlier were exhibiting unprecedented behavior. "This is impossible," Emily muttered, her eyes wide as she watched the cells morph and adapt in ways that defied known biology. "It's like they're evolving in real time." Unbeknownst to Emily, these cells were from Zara's ship, a result of cross-contamination during one of Mike's visits to the park where the cloaked spacecraft was hidden. The contact with Earth's biosphere was causing unexpected mutations. Across the city, in the penthouse office, the mysterious observer's array of screens flashed with urgent alerts. The being's mercurial form rippled with excitement. "At last," it murmured, "the catalyst we've been waiting for." With a wave of its hand, the observer initiated a series of commands, sending signals to hidden outposts across the galaxy. The game was entering its final, crucial phase. Back on the Zinthari ship, chaos reigned. Alarms blared as Zara's vitals spiked erratically. "We're losing her signal," Dr. Lix shouted, his six-fingered hands dancing frantically over the control panels. Professor Vex's skin patterns swirled in agitation. "This is a disaster. We must abort the mission immediately." But before they could act, the holographic form of High Counselor Zorn materialized in the center of the command deck. His expression was grave. "Scientists," he intoned, "your experiment has yielded unexpected results. The Galactic Council has decided to intervene." As the Zinthari scientists grappled with this new development, Zara stumbled through the underbrush of Central Park, her biodisguise failing completely. Her true form, a being of shimmering iridescence and graceful antennae, was now fully visible. She collapsed against a tree, her breath coming in ragged gasps. This was it. Her cover was blown. The mission was a failure. And worst of all, she'd never see Mike again. The thought sent a lance of pain through her chest, more acute than any physical discomfort. Was this heartbreak? Another human emotion she'd never anticipated experiencing. Suddenly, a rustle in the bushes made her freeze. Had she been discovered? Would she become Earth's first confirmed alien contact, a captive to be studied and dissected? But the figure that emerged from the foliage wasn't a human, or even a Zinthari. It was the mysterious observer, its form shifting and flowing like liquid starlight. "Peace, young one," the being said, its voice resonating on frequencies Zara had never encountered before. "Your journey is not over. It is, in fact, just beginning." As Zara stared in awe at this impossible being, a soft voice called out from behind her. "Zara, is that you?" Zara turned, her heart's pounding, to see Mike standing there, his eyes wide with a mix of fear, confusion, and wonder. At that moment, as three vastly different beings converged in a quiet corner of Central Park, the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. The lines between science and emotion, between duty and desire, blurred into insignificance. For in that instant, Zara realized a fundamental truth that had eluded both humans and Zinthari: love, in all its irrational, inexplicable glory, might just be the most powerful force in the universe. As the mysterious being smiled enigmatically, Earth's first official contact with alien life was about to unfold in a way no one could have predicted, and it all started with a simple question. "Zara, what are you?" The air crackled with tension and possibility. The next few moments would determine not just Zara and Mike's fate, but potentially the future of interstellar relations and the very nature of cosmic evolution. In the background, unnoticed by the trio in the park, the New York sky began to shimmer with the arrival of cloaked Galactic Council ships. The stage was set for a revelation that would change everything. And at the heart of it all was a love that defied the laws of physics and the boundaries of species. A quantum entanglement of hearts that just might hold the key to unlocking the greatest mysteries of the universe. Cosmic convergence. When stars align and hearts collide, the air in Central Park crackled with an otherworldly energy as Zara, Mike, and the enigmatic cosmic entity stood in a triangle of tension and possibility. Above them, the sky shimmered with the barely visible outlines of Galactic Council ships, their presence unknown to the oblivious city below. "Zara, what are you?" Mike's voice trembled, a mix of awe and trepidation in his eyes as he gazed upon Zara's true form, a being of shimmering iridescence and graceful, quivering antennae. Zara's heart raced, her mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions and protocols. This wasn't how first contact was supposed to happen. This wasn't part of the mission parameters. And yet, as she looked into Mike's eyes, she felt a surge of something stronger than fear or duty: trust. "I am Zara," she said, her voice a melodic hum that seemed to resonate with the very air around them. "I am a scientist from a world called Zinthar. I came here to study humans, to understand your ways. But I never expected, I never anticipated. Love," the mysterious being interjected, its form shimmering like liquid starlight. "You never anticipated love." Mike's eyes widened, darting between Zara and the cosmic entity. "Love, you mean you and me? But how? Why?" Before Zara could respond, the park was suddenly bathed in a brilliant light. The Galactic Council ships decloaked, their massive forms hovering above the New York skyline. Panicked screams erupted from the surrounding areas as humans caught sight of the impossible vessels. "It appears," the cosmic being said with a hint of amusement, "that the convergence has begun ahead of schedule." In that moment, several things happened at once. Dr. Emily Chen, still in her lab, watched in disbelief as the mutated cells she'd been studying began to emit a soft, pulsating light that matched the rhythm of the hovering alien ships. The Zinthari science vessel burst from its hiding place, its cloaking device failing as it rose to meet the Galactic Council ships. And deep beneath the city, in long-forgotten tunnels, an ancient machine hummed to life, responding to the presence of extraterrestrial technology. As chaos erupted around them, Zara made a decision that would alter the course of galactic history. She reached out and took Mike's hand, marveling at how right it felt despite their physiological differences. "Mike," she said, her voice steady despite the tumult in her heart, "what I feel for you, it's real. It's more real than anything I've ever known. And I think it might be the key to everything." Mike squeezed her hand, a smile breaking through his shock. "I don't understand any of this, but I know one thing. What I feel for you is real too, no matter what planet you're from." The cosmic being's form rippled with what might have been approval. "Now you begin to understand. Love, in all its infinite variations, is the fundamental force that binds the universe together. It transcends species, planets, even dimensions." Suddenly, the air was filled with the sound of 1,000 voices, the collective communication of the Galactic Council ships. "Citizens of Earth," the message boomed in every language simultaneously, "we come in peace. Your planet stands on the brink of a great awakening." As the message played out, explaining the long history of galactic civilization and Earth's impending invitation to join the cosmic community, Zara and Mike stood transfixed, their hands intertwined. "You see," the cosmic being explained, its form expanding to encompass them in a cocoon of swirling stardust, "your connection, impossible as it might seem, is the culmination of eons of cosmic evolution. The Zinthari, with their logic and order, and humans, with their chaos and passion, each held half of the equation. Together, you represent the next step in universal consciousness." As if to illustrate its point, the being waved a shimmering appendage, and suddenly Zara and Mike could see the very fabric of reality, quantum strings vibrating in harmony, mirroring the connection between their hearts. "Your love," the being continued, "has catalyzed a reaction at the quantum level. The cellular mutations, the awakening of dormant Earth technologies, the alignment of galactic forces, all of it was leading to this moment." In the sky above, the Galactic Council ships began to arrange themselves in a complex, geometric pattern. The Zinthari science vessel, guided by an awestruck Dr. Lix and Professor Vex, took its place in the formation. "Now," the cosmic being said, its voice resonating with the power of colliding galaxies, "you must choose. Will you embrace this new reality, this convergence of hearts and minds across the cosmic expanse? The future of both your species, indeed, the future of the galaxy, hangs in the balance." Zara looked at Mike, seeing in his eyes the same wonder and determination she felt in her heart's. Without a word, they both nodded. The cosmic being's form exploded in a dazzling display of light and energy. The quantum strings around them began to vibrate in a new frequency, and Zara and Mike felt their very beings start to merge and transform. As New York, and indeed, the whole world, watched in awe, two beings from different worlds became something entirely new. Their forms melded into a shimmering cocoon of energy, pulsing with a combined power of logic and emotion, order and chaos. When the light faded, where Zara and Mike had stood was now a single being, a bridge between species, a living embodiment of cosmic love. The new entity opened eyes that held the wisdom of stars and spoke with a voice that echoed through time and space. "We are ready." With those words, a new chapter in the history of the universe began. Earth was welcomed into the galactic community not through war or mere technological advancement, but through the most powerful force of all, love that transcended the boundaries of worlds. As the cosmic being smiled enigmatically and faded from view, its work complete, the newly merged Zara-Mike entity rose into the air to address their fellow humans and the watching galaxy. The story of how a chance encounter between an alien scientist and a human biologist led to the dawn of a new cosmic age would be told for millennia to come. It was a tale of quantum entanglement on a galactic scale, proof that even in the vast, cold expanses of space, the warmth of love could ignite stars and bridge the gaps between worlds. And so, as the sun rose on a new era for Earth and the galaxy beyond, the immortal words echoed across the cosmos. "We are not alone. We are all one."